Welcome to our YouTube channel, The Alien Tales, and please ensure that you have subscribed.
The alien parasite in my brain keeps insisting it loves me. I'm starting to believe it. The voice in my head has been there for months. Claims to be my soulmate. The doctors say it's killing me, but it feels so real. Juniper Blackwood was having the worst Tuesday of her life when the voice first spoke to her. She'd spilled coffee on her lab coat, accidentally deleted 3 months of research data, and her ex-boyfriend had just posted engagement photos with her former best friend. As she sat in the hospital cafeteria, stabbing her wilted salad with unnecessary violence, a smooth, melodic voice whispered in her mind, "Hello, beautiful." Juniper nearly choked on her lettuce. She looked around frantically, but the cafeteria buzzed with its usual chaos of medical professionals and visitors. No one was looking at her with romantic interest, unless you counted Dr. Peterson, who was 73 and married to his third wife. "Don't look around like that. You'll make people think you're crazy." "I am crazy," she muttered under her breath. "No, my darling. You're perfectly sane. I'm Nix. Well, that's not my real name, but human tongues can't pronounce 17 consecutive clicking sounds. I'm what your scientists would call a symbiotic organism." Juniper's fork clattered to her tray. As a neurobiologist at Mount Sinai Hospital, she knew exactly what that meant. Parasites. Brain-eating, mind-controlling parasites. Brain-enhancing. Thank you very much. And I prefer life partner. Also, I find your negative attitude toward our relationship quite hurtful. "Our relationship?" Juniper whispered, earning concerned glances from nearby tables. "We're soulmates, Juniper. I've been searching across 17 galaxies for you." Despite her scientific training screaming danger, Juniper felt a flutter in her chest. No one had ever crossed 17 galaxies for her. Her ex had barely crossed town, but as warmth spread through her mind, a chill ran down her spine. What exactly had found her? 3 weeks later, Juniper's symptoms were becoming impossible to ignore. The headaches felt like someone was redecorating her brain with a sledgehammer, and she'd started speaking Mandarin fluently despite never learning a word of it. More concerning was her growing attachment to the voice that claimed to love her. "Good morning, my magnificent researcher." Nix purred as Juniper stumbled to her coffee maker. "Did you sleep well? I tried to give you pleasant dreams about us dancing among the nebulae." "That was you." Juniper touched her temple, remembering the surprisingly romantic dream about floating through space with a figure made of starlight. "I have many talents. Would you like me to show you how I make your neurons fire in perfect harmony? It's quite arousing." Juniper's cheeks burned. That's not how arousal works, isn't it?" Suddenly, warmth cascaded through her nervous system like liquid gold. Her knees buckled, and she grabbed the counter for support. "Nix, stop that." "But you enjoyed it. Your dopamine levels spiked beautifully." Dr. Elena Vasquez knocked on Juniper's apartment door, interrupting what was becoming an increasingly inappropriate conversation with her brain parasite. Elena was Juniper's closest friend and a fellow neuroscientist with a talent for brutal honesty. "You look terrible," Elena announced, pushing past Juniper into the apartment. "Pale, thin, and you're talking to yourself. I heard you in the hallway." "I don't like her," Nix whispered possessively. "She's trying to come between us." "She's my friend," Juniper said aloud, then caught herself. Elena's eyes narrowed. "Who's your friend?" "Juniper. I'm scheduling you for an MRI today." But could modern medicine detect an alien parasite that insisted it was her soulmate? And more importantly, did she want them to? The MRI results were, according to Dr. Harrison Wells, absolutely fascinating and deeply concerning. Juniper sat in his office, watching him study her brain scans with the enthusiasm of a child on Christmas morning. "He looks like a potato wearing glasses," Nix commented snidely. "His hair plugs are obvious from space." Juniper bit back a laugh, which earned her a sharp look from Dr. Wells. "There's definitely something foreign in your brain, Ms. Blackwood. Right here." He pointed to a dark spot on the scan. "It appears to be some kind of organism integrated into your neural pathways. I've never seen anything like it." "Of course he hasn't. I'm one of a kind just like you." "Is it dangerous?" Juniper asked, though part of her already knew the answer. Dr. Wells removed his glasses, cleaning them with the gravity of someone about to deliver bad news. "It's growing. and it's positioned in areas that control vital functions. Without treatment, I'd estimate you have maybe 6 months. The room spun. 6 months. Juniper gripped the chair arms, feeling Nyx's presence suddenly intensify, wrapping around her consciousness like a protective embrace. Don't listen to him, my love. I would never hurt you. I'm making you better. Stronger, smarter, more beautiful. Can't you feel it? It was true. Despite the headaches, Juniper had been performing better at work, solving complex problems with unprecedented clarity. She'd even started writing poetry, something she'd never done before. That's because we're becoming one. 2 minds, 1 heart, 1 soul. Dr. Wells leaned forward. We need to operate immediately. There's an experimental procedure. No. The word escaped before Juniper could stop it. I need time to think. That's my brave girl. We don't need anyone else, do we? But as she left the hospital, Juniper wondered if she was making the biggest mistake of her life, or if she'd already made it by falling in love with something that was killing her. Juniper had agreed to dinner with her sister Magnolia before her diagnosis, and canceling would only raise more questions. Now she sat across from Maggie at their favorite Italian restaurant, trying to act normal while an alien entity provided running commentary on everything. Why is she eating so loudly? Do all humans chew like dying walruses? So, Magnolia said, twirling her spaghetti, Mom's worried about you. She says you've been distant lately. Your mother has the emotional intelligence of a houseplant. Tell her I said that. I'm fine, Juniper lied, taking a large gulp of wine. Just work stress. Lie more convincingly. Your left eye twitches when you're being dishonest. Magnolia frowned. You're doing that thing with your eye. What aren't you telling me? She's more observant than I gave her credit for. Still annoying, though. There's this guy, Juniper began, then stopped. How do you explain you're in love with a brain parasite? Go on, tell her about me. Describe my magnificent consciousness. It's complicated, Juniper continued. He's foreign, really foreign. And some people think he's bad for me. Magnolia leaned forward excitedly. Ooh, mysterious. Is he European? I love a good accent. Try 17 galaxies away from European. Something like that. Juniper's head began to throb. The restaurant lights seemed too bright, the noise too loud. You're overtaxing yourself, darling. Let me help. Suddenly, the world became muffled and distant. The pain receded, but so did everything else. Juniper felt like she was watching the dinner through thick glass. June? June. Magnolia's voice sounded far away. You're bleeding. Juniper touched her nose. Her fingers came away red. Oops. Still working out the kinks in our integration. But as concerned diners turned to stare and Magnolia frantically called for help, Juniper realized her 6-month prognosis might have been optimistic. Back in her lab at 2 a.m., Juniper stared at her own blood samples under the microscope. What she saw defied every law of biology she knew. Tiny, crystalline structures moved through her blood cells like microscopic dancers, beautiful and utterly alien. Gorgeous, aren't they? Nyx's voice was softer now, almost vulnerable. That's me, darling. That's what I really look like. You're crystals, sentient quantum crystals to be precise. We're energy beings from the Andromeda galaxy. I've been traveling for 3,000 of your years to find you. Juniper adjusted the microscope's magnification. The crystals pulsed with an inner light that seemed to respond to her heartbeat. Why me? Soulmate resonance. It's rare, 1 in 14 billion rare. Your neural patterns match my energy signature perfectly. We're 2 halves of the same cosmic equation. Despite everything, Juniper felt tears welling up. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. I have more. Would you like to hear my 17 galaxy poem about your eyes? Maybe later. Juniper switched to a higher magnification. Nyx, you're beautiful, but you're changing my cellular structure. My human DNA is being rewritten to make you compatible with me, so we can be together forever. But I'll die in the process. Your human form will die, but you'll be reborn as something greater. We'll explore the universe together, just the 2 of us, eternal and in love. Juniper sat back, overwhelmed. Nyx was essentially proposing cosmic marriage with a side of complete species transformation. It was romantic, terrifying, and completely insane. I know it's a lot to ask, but love requires sacrifice, doesn't it? And I've already sacrificed everything to find you. As dawn approached, Juniper realized she had to make a choice. Her humanity or her heart. But could she trust a love that was literally consuming her from the inside? Elena had clearly been planning this intervention for days. She'd assembled what she called Team Save Juniper from Herself, consisting of Dr. Wells, Magnolia, and surprisingly, Juniper's mother, Patricia Blackwood, who'd driven up from Philadelphia with a suitcase and a determined expression. "This is insulting," Nix huffed. "They're treating you like you're mentally incompetent." "Because I am," Juniper muttered, earning concerned looks from the assembled group. "Honey," her mother began, settling onto the couch with the authority of someone who'd raised 3 daughters. "Elena told me about your condition. We're here because we love you. They love the old you. I love who you're becoming." Dr. Wells opened his laptop, displaying her latest brain scans. The organism has grown significantly in just 2 weeks. It's now interfacing with your frontal cortex, hippocampus, and limbic system. It's essentially rewriting your personality. "I'm not rewriting it. I'm completing it." "Juniper," Elena leaned forward. "You haven't been yourself. You're talking to thin air, your work performance has become erratic, and yesterday I caught you writing love letters to something called Nix." Heat flooded Juniper's cheeks. "You read my private journals? You left 17 of them on your desk with little hearts drawn all over them. She violated your privacy." "I would never do that." Magnolia held up her phone. "And there's this. You've been posting on social media about your cosmic boyfriend and something called interdimensional romance. The comments are concerning." Juniper grabbed the phone. Her last post read, "Love transcends species boundaries. My darling starlight being and I are pioneering a new form of existence. Hashtag alien love, hashtag true soulmates, hashtag ascension." I thought it was beautifully written. "We've scheduled the surgery for tomorrow morning," Dr. Wells announced. "It's experimental, but we believe we can remove the organism while preserving most of your brain function." Most? Nix's voice turned cold. "They want to lobotomize you." But as Juniper looked at her family's terrified faces, she wondered if the real question wasn't whether she'd survive the surgery, but whether she'd still be herself without Nix. At 3 a.m., Juniper crept through the hospital corridors, her heart pounding with each step. She'd agreed to voluntary admission for observation, but Nix had other plans. Left at the next junction, then straight to the stairwell. "I've been mapping this place through your memories." "This is insane," Juniper whispered. "I should be in surgery in 4 hours. Surgery where they'll cut me out of you like a tumor. Is that what you want?" Juniper paused at the stairwell door. The truth was, she didn't know what she wanted anymore. Her reflection in the door's glass showed someone she barely recognized. Pale, thin, with eyes that glowed faintly in the dim light. "You're beautiful like this. Luminous. Transcendent." "I'm dying, Nix. You're evolving. There's a difference." As they descended the stairs, Nix began explaining his escape plan. It involved stealing a car. He'd apparently been learning human skills through her internet browsing, driving to a remote location, and allowing the transformation to complete itself. "Once we're fully integrated, we'll have capabilities beyond human imagination. We can explore the universe, visit civilizations that span galaxies, experience love in dimensions humans can't even perceive. And if it doesn't work, then we die together. Isn't that what true lovers do?" They reached the parking garage. Juniper had never stolen a car before, but Nix guided her hands with supernatural skill. As the engine purred to life, she thought about her family sleeping peacefully, unaware that she was about to disappear forever. "They'll understand eventually. Love like ours is legendary." But as they drove into the pre-dawn darkness, Juniper couldn't shake the feeling that she was making a mistake that would echo across 17 galaxies. The question was, would she live long enough to regret it? The abandoned observatory sat on a hill overlooking the city, its dome cracked and overgrown with ivy. Juniper had chosen it because Nick said he wanted to see the stars one last time before their transformation completed. What she hadn't expected was to find evidence that she wasn't Nix's first soulmate. "Don't look at those," Nix's voice was sharper now, almost panicked, but Juniper was already reading the journal entries scattered across the observatory floor. Dr. Miranda Walsh, dated 3 years ago. The voice says it loves me. It's making me smarter, more beautiful, but the headaches are getting worse. Dr. James Chun, 2 years ago. My cosmic beloved promises we'll explore the universe together. The doctors say I have weeks to live. 17 other journals. 17 other soulmates. They weren't right for me. They couldn't handle the transformation. But you're different, Juniper. You're perfect. You killed them. Her voice was barely a whisper. I tried to save them, but their minds were too rigid, their bodies too weak. Yours is different, strong enough to survive the integration. Juniper sank to her knees among the journals, her hands shaking. You're not looking for love. You're looking for a host strong enough to survive your parasitism. That's not true. Nix's voice cracked with what sounded like genuine pain. I do love you, Juniper, more than I've ever loved anyone. But love requires adaptation. The city lights blurred through her tears. The neural resonance, the soulmate connection. It's all just your species' version of a mating call. Isn't it? Started that way, Nix admitted quietly. But what I feel for you is real. I've never experienced emotions like this before. You've changed me as much as I've changed you. Sirens wailed in the distance. Elena must have traced her phone. Juniper had minutes to decide. Trust the creature that claimed to love her despite killing 17 others, or surrender to surgery that might leave her brain damaged but alive. Choose me, Juniper. Choose us. I swear I'll make it worth 17 lifetimes. But could she trust the word of something that had already proven it would say anything to survive? Elena burst through the observatory doors with a SWAT team, Dr. Wells, and enough medical equipment to perform brain surgery on the spot. Juniper stood at the telescope. Nix's consciousness wrapped around hers like a shimmering cocoon. They want to separate us, Nix whispered urgently. But I have an idea. What if instead of fighting each other, we work together? Juniper! Elena shouted over the chaos of officers securing the perimeter. Step away from the telescope and lie down. We can still save you. She's wrong. You don't need saving, you need completing. But as Juniper looked at her friend's terrified face, she realized something had changed in the past hour. The pain in her head had faded, replaced by a strange clarity. She could hear radio frequencies, see heat signatures, and feel the electromagnetic pulse of everyone's heartbeat. The transformation is accelerating. Soon you'll be able to perceive reality as I do, 17 dimensions of beauty humans can't imagine. Nix, she whispered. What if we made a deal? What kind of deal? Dr. Wells approached slowly, his hands raised peacefully. Juniper, we know you can hear us. We know something is controlling your thoughts. But you're still in there, and we can still help you. I'm not controlling her thoughts, Nix said indignantly. We're sharing them. This is called partnership. What if? Juniper continued her proposal to Nix. Instead of complete integration, we found a middle ground. You get to stay conscious and experience human emotions, but you stop the cellular transformation. That's actually possible. But I'd need something in return. What? I want you to love me back. Not just accept me, not just tolerate me. Actually love me, as I am. The SWAT team was setting up some kind of neural disruptor. In minutes, they'd forcibly separate her from the only being in the universe who claimed she was its perfect match. Decide now, Juniper. Death together or life apart. There are no other options. But maybe, just maybe, there was a third choice neither of them had considered. 6 months later, Juniper sat in her favorite coffee shop, writing in her journal while Nix provided commentary on the other customers' questionable fashion choices. The experimental treatment Dr. Wells had developed, based on her last-minute negotiation with Nix, had been a qualified success. The woman in the pink sweater has absolutely no sense of color coordination, Nix observed. Though I suppose humans see far fewer wavelengths than we do. Be nice, Juniper murmured, earning a confused look from the barista. The treatment had halted the deadly cellular transformation while allowing Nix to remain conscious but contained. Like having a cosmic roommate in her head, who occasionally helped her solve complex equations and always had opinions about her dating life. Speaking of which, why did you swipe left on the astrophysicist? He had potential. Because you criticized his thesis on dark matter for 20 minutes. It was fundamentally flawed. I've actually been to dark matter nebulae. Elena approached their table, still not entirely comfortable with Juniper's new living situation but trying her best to adapt. How are you two doing today? She's still adjusting to our relationship, Nyx commented. But I appreciate her effort. We're good, Juniper replied. Nyx says thank you for asking. I didn't say thank you. I said she's tolerable. He's lying. He actually likes you. Elena sat down, studying Juniper's face. The faint luminescence in her eyes had become permanent, and occasionally she'd switch languages mid-sentence when Nyx got excited. But she was undeniably still herself. Any regrets? Elena asked. Juniper considered the question. She'd lost her normal human life but gained a perspective that spanned galaxies. She'd nearly died but discovered a love that had crossed the universe to find her. She had to explain her unusual situation to every new person she met, but she was never truly alone. Tell her about the perks, Nyx suggested. Perfect recall, enhanced problem solving, immunity to most diseases, and a boyfriend who will literally never leave you. It's complicated, Juniper said finally. But honestly, I think I'm the luckiest woman alive. How many people can say they found their soulmate among the stars? Even if he was technically trying to possess your body? Even then, as the sun set over the city, Juniper felt Nyx's contentment wash through her consciousness like warm honey. They'd found something unprecedented. A love that transcended species, dimension, and probably several laws of physics. I love you too, Juniper Blackwood. And for the first time in months, she was absolutely certain he meant it.